round them up, move them in. No place for your saddle and cowboy boots after the Calgary Stampede? At Sentinel Storage, we are proud to provide you with storage solutions that safeguard your valuables. Whether you're moving, renovating, or simply require extra space, we offer convenient and secure storage that caters to all needs. Find the Sentinel storage you need close to home. For a free estimate, visit sentinel.ca.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
This is where the focus comes into play. Look at that. Canada, say hello to your new champions.
Proudly pulling for this generation of Canadians and the next for over 40 years at the Scotties Tournament.
No, this is Ryan. Can you hear me?
We can. Yeah. Hey, Chels, can you remind me that I have something in the oven?
So, it's going to be super fast, so let's just remember that. Hey, good job. All right. We're probably going to go to like... Okay, see you guys. Don't want to be the first one to screw up, right? Let someone else go first. That's what we were all waiting for. Yeah. Just clean. Clean. Line's good. Just clean. Good. I missed the time. Medium. Yup. Clean. Clean.
And welcome to the 2025 Curling Alberta Women's Championship presented by Sentinel Storage. I'm Chelsea Carey, and I'm here with Darren Moulding, and we're bringing you the matchup between Team Gracelyn Richards out of the Saville Community Centre in Edmonton and Team Hannah Phillips, I think mostly out of the Crestwood in Edmonton, although they do have 3 different curling clubs listed, so located all over the province for that team.
A wonderful Wednesday evening at the Vern Poffenroth Memorial Arena. It's in Rimbey, Alberta.
Hey, you said you were out there, Darren. Is it a nice facility?
It is a nice facility. It's really well taken care of. Nice arena. Matt Yo, the head ice tech chief, was telling me the ice was.
Just clean. Sasha a bit. Sasha. Hard, Sasha, hard. Yeah. 9-7, so not awful, but just a little bit more away than Sasha was. There's less ice on hers.
Alberta provincials have been quite lovely, so I'm not surprised by that. We did see the draw of the button happen in practice for the hammer, so Team Phillips did come out with the hammer, and we've seen a reasonably conservative start here.
Hey, line's
Is that what you would expect from 2 teams like this, Darren?
Line's good, running.
I think in the 10-end game for sure. And you know, it's early in the week. The neither teams really know the ice yet.
A little bit of room, Amy's
so probably, you know, just trying to feel things out a little bit.
Yeah, the other thing I think that factors in is that it is the first game for Team Richards in this event, where Team Phillips did have to play a game to get to this game, so they'd be a little bit more comfortable and familiar with the ice. Same for all the games out here. There's 4 teams that get byes in the first round. So for those teams, that sounds like a good thing, but it can sometimes not be a good thing because you haven't had as much time on the ice as your opponent. So I'm not surprised by Team Richards not wanting to push the envelope and clear that guard in the first end when they're playing a team that already had 10 ends out here.
Sometimes you will see upsets in this game. And I've noticed both in the men's and women's in this format. The top seeds are most vulnerable early, I find, and especially, you know, in the first half of this game here. So, you know, maybe they are just kind of waiting until they're comfortable. And now, would you think, you know, with Phillips having played earlier, would the onus be on them to push the play a little bit, Chelsea? Like, would
it's running
you
like it's heavy.
maybe try to push it a
moving
little,
yet.
knowing that Richards' team is
now.
fresh out on the ice in the game?
Yeah, I think I might have. If it was me, I might have gone to maybe a delayed corner, but probably thrown a corner guard. But you'd like to keep the hammer going into the second end, and then I imagine you'll see maybe a little bit more aggression in that second end. We do see Team Richards with that big University of Alberta A on the front of their jacket. So the game plan that comes from those teams abide by is quite defensive. So we're likely to see them not be the ones to push the envelope here between the fact that it's their first game and that's just generally the type of strategy that they would probably lean more towards.
That just jumped, sorry.
Do you think
Just
that
jumped.
we've already made an exit onto the Blanksville Highway?
It sure looks like it. So given that, let's talk about some of our host committee local sponsors. Diamond level sponsors include Tourmaline, Tech, Reynaldi and Sons Contracting Limited, and platinum sponsors Rimbey's Lions Club, the Town of Rimbey, the Cooperators, Quality Inn and Suites, Rimbey Implements, Ponoka County, and Little Guy Inc. Oil Field Rentals. I'll tell you, Darren, when they sent us the list of sponsors, I went, holy smokes, it's pretty impressive how many companies are on board, both locally and from a curling Alberta level. It's great to see that support.
Starting to move.
I can tell you that the town of Rimbey's thrown all their support behind this event. I was at the arena on Monday,
You guys.
just checking things out, seeing how things were going. Not really contributing in any way, just more, getting in the way. And I ran into the mayor of Rimbey, and so yeah, he was there checking out the rink, and was a lot of volunteers there, and they're really supportive town with this event.
That's great to see. Always love. It's cool to go to these smaller towns, and they really get excited about curling and having an event, and the communities all just seem to rally around it. And I know as a player, when I got to participate in these, it was always really fun to be there, and everybody's excited, and you go to a restaurant and they're coming up to you and chatting with you about, how has it been since you got here and all that kind of stuff. They're so pumped to have these players and this kind of an event in town, and it's great to see that.
Yeah, Mayor Rick Pankow was definitely excited for the event, but it is nice to see people, invested in the event in the municipal government. And I do know in part of, getting this event to Rimbey, the town of Rimbey was instrumental. So, because when you get something like this, there's a lot of moving parts that have to come together, in a lot of different ways. We don't think about, like, for example, the arena is usually filled with hockey. So, where do they go to play? Or I guess they take a week off, or, a lot of that stuff needs to be known well in advance, and different user groups have to do different things to make it work.
Yeah, absolutely, and we always appreciate that as curlers. We are moving around all the time. We don't think of those sports that it's just not like that for us, where you play in the same arena every week kind of thing, and so it's a bit different. But we appreciate the accommodations made by the local teams to let us take over their space for a little while.
That is a good point too, hey, Chelsea. Like, as curlers, we're accustomed to just playing all over the place, everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Like my home, I played out of the Glencoe in Calgary, and I would go weeks without seeing the ice maker. I'd walk in and he'd be like, "Where have you been?" On the road. Like you're gone a lot.
Yeah, there was a couple years, Chelsea, and I'm sure you've had similar stories where I would be gone for 100 days, 105 days. Yeah. Yeah, if you're playing at that highest level and playing on the tour every week, there are different ways you can play. I mean, some of the teams, don't have as heavy of a schedule. They might focus on the Alberta tour a little bit. I think, most of the teams, if not all of the teams here, have played tour events this year. But yeah.
Yeah, some more than others for sure. You'd see some teams in this event that have been traveling a bit more, and others that maybe live in a bit more remote communities or that kind of thing that maybe haven't quite as much. So it does look like we're headed to Blanksville here, Darren. Gracelyn Richards with her last rock of this first end, going to try to hit and stick and force Hannah Phillips to throw the blank, because you never know, stranger things have happened.
Chelsea, what would you say, if she does stick here, what would you say the percentage chance of a blank end would be? I've never played this team, I don't think, maybe once, so I'm not terribly familiar with them, but I think in general at this event, it probably gets made at least 75, maybe 80% of the time.
if you looked at the top men's event, I would suggest it's closer to 100, 95 to 100. And if you looked even at the slams for the women, you'd see it made a lot more than that. It happens, but it's rare that this is nosed. But I'm not as familiar enough with Hannah Phillips to bet on her in particular, but I like her chances here. It also looks like it's running pretty straight with the hits. That is not a lot of ice, so that makes the shot easier as well.
Looks like money.
Yeah, she's
off to Blanksville. That was a really nice release. Really nice throw.
She did that really well. No mistake there from Hannah Phillips, and she will carry the hammer in a scoreless game into the second end.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Original 16, a great way to celebrate things done.
Weird. I try to shave. All right, so let's go.
Welcome back to Rimbey. The second end action here between Team Gracelyn Richards and Team Hannah Phillips. Hannah Phillips' successful blank attempt in the first end, and now we're into the second. Not sure if this was an attempt at a corner guard. Our feed is the same as everyone at home, so we just we came in a little bit late here, but that rock sliding in the house one way or the other, and so now another open start to an end. You never know what can happen, but what do you think happens from here, Darren? Do you think that for Team Phillips they'd like to try to blank it again, or do you think they'll mix it up a little bit?
Well, they did attempt. I'm assuming they attempted to throw corner guard. Which is why it must have gone deep. So actually, I would, I would bet on another trip to Blanksville, but we'll see. Well, this could get split. This house now. I don't know, Chelsea. In this case, if there's a good shot made, would you ever just throw a corner guard late like this and?
I might
try to shift gears.
Yeah, especially with the yellow staying there and that red in the house. It's hard. It's not that easy to peel over there. So you could kind of try to throw it right in between those and make them play the other turn. I mean, it's still a pretty makeable shot. But yeah, I think I would probably consider throwing a second corner. or a second attempt at a corner, I guess I should say.
I like the call of throwing a corner, like after that rock went top 12.
Yeah, I think I would have then too, but even now, so now they've thrown this one to the middle, so now the peel's even harder. If you threw a corner guard in front of the mess over there, how does she peel it? She could jam on her own on the one side, she could jam on the yellow on the other side. It makes it a hard peel. So it looks like they're going to make a play in the house, but I would be considering a corner guard here.
When you can see Hannah's trying to manufacture a way to blank this end right now with this call. Little roll over. Try to get, underneath it or near it to set up a easier double on the next one.
Trying to get this one to curl with the sweep here. It needs to come over a lot.
That's a pretty good shot.
It's not bad. It puts at least a little bit of pressure on Team Richards here to put this in a good spot and not leave a double.
Well, and you start getting some stuff. Draw. You start getting some shrapnel over at the side there. Eventually if it gets shook up in a way that leaves you a pocket to freeze to, or maybe something to roll into, that mess of rocks there can turn into a deuce easily.
For sure it can, yeah. It gives you some life over there for a multiple point score.
Is your feed jumpy, Chels?
A little bit, yeah. It's has smooth parts, but then it seems to be a little bit freezing up at times.
Well, and you know how it is, Chels. It's Wednesday night, early in a long week of curling. I guess the provincials aren't super long, but early in the event. Are these games important, Chelsea? I always feel they're almost like a preseason game in a way. Yeah. But they are, they do end up being important, don't they?
Yeah, they do, especially with the format. I love this format. It was always my favorite, and so it's a 12-team triple, I believe. So the top 4 teams get buys, and then whoever qualifies A side becomes the 1 seed in the Page playoffs, and the B side qualifier would become the 2 seed, and then 2 qualifiers out of C would be playing each other in the 3 versus 4 game. So it does matter to be in that 1-2 game. So losing 1 game and qualifying B isn't a big deal, but that giving yourself that extra chance in the 1-2 game, it is significant. So in that sense, these games do matter because you don't want to drop past that first loss. If you could avoid it, you'd like to qualify either A or B.
Ooh, that's a really good shot.
Yeah.
But still, 4 rocks to go each side. A lot of time for things to happen here. But at this point, I think Team Richards likes their situation. They've kind of got a force set up.
Yeah, the force is looking pretty good right now. Probably try to hit this on the nose a few times, you think, maybe, Darren, so that you have a better angle for the double, or are you trying to roll over towards the pile?
Part of me wonders if I would just go and hit that other red one and try and roll under the corner.
Yeah, I like that.
And then say, okay, if you leave me a double, now we might get 3.
Yeah, absolutely. And
right?
It's harder for them to guard, or if they split the rings, they better do it well because you're bringing a 3 into play. But the chase isn't easy on either one if you make the roll the way you want to. So, yeah, I like that. More offensive call for sure.
Ideally get like a Christmas tree situation going on over there.
Definitely. This one needs to move.
Oh, does she get enough? Yeah, she gets enough. So, that's not a terrible result. But now a blank or a deuce is looking pretty good for Phillips, and an end can just turn around quickly like that.
Yeah, for sure. It's looking not like a force right now.
Well, we can go ahead and thank our gold sponsors, Fire and Flood, Missing Link Internet, Bay Tex Energy, CBI Solar, the Rimbey Curling Club, New Country 95.5 and Z 98.9, all helping us out in this event. And again, the Central Alberta local businesses there. It is impressive to see this list of sponsors. And it just shows you like how much support that this event's received. I did hear, and this could be, don't hold me to this, but I heard that Rimbey is the smallest town by population to ever host this event.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if we can get that confirmed. I didn't know that. How big is Rimbey? Do you know?
Now, I want to say, and I don't actually know, but I'm going to guess, and listeners can tell me if I'm wrong, about maybe like 3,500, 4,000 people.
Okay, yeah, so it might be then. So a roll out there from Kate Goodhelpson.
No.
Has opened the door to a blank here.
I was wrong, Chelsea. I just looked up on Wikipedia. As of 2021, the population in Rimbey is 2,470. So
there you go.
And Chelsea, if she can get a roll, even just edge on edge, that would make things a little more difficult. When you're throwing this shot, do you hedge to nose it out of safety, or would you go for this roll aggressively?
I think I might go for the roll aggressively. I always liked going pretty hard for two in the even ends, especially if there's no risk, which right now there is no risk. Worst case scenario, something crazy happens, you roll out, and then Gracelyn makes a great draw, and then you have to draw for one, but you're still always getting your single point. So I would play this aggressively, personally, but given the sort of conservative start to this end, my guess is that they won't do that, and they don't. So it's a nose hit there from Hannah Phillips.
Chelsea, I need to go tend to my stove. Just hold on a second.
So for Gracelyn, Richards could try to roll this to the middle and make the blank harder, or could try to get it a piece under to make the blank harder. I imagine she's trying to roll one way or the other. Oh, and just rolls a little bit too far. That was so close to being made perfect. So this will be a free attempt at a throw through for Hannah Phillips. They'll probably put this in a spot of the ice that they haven't seen yet, just to get a read on it and see what it's doing.
Looks like we're taking a trip to Blanksville. Okay.
Sure are. Blanksville coming at you. Hannah Phillips, last rock. Just kind of a control weight, get a read on this wide in-turn spot. And we will go to the third end with no score. Team Phillips retains the hammer. We'll be right back.
Sorry, Chell.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Original 16, a great way to celebrate things done well.
Welcome back to the Vern Poffenroth Memorial Arena in Rimbey, Alberta. Third end action between Hannah Phillips and Gracelyn Richards. Hannah Phillips does have the hammer by virtue of that pre-game draw to the button. First rock did go in, and we have seen a hit, so we're going to continue with feeling each other out, which is, I would say, pretty typical of a Wednesday game at Provincials. As we talked about earlier, one team has played. That would be Hannah Phillips. She played and won earlier today to get to this game, and for Gracelyn Richards, this is her first game on this ice. So always wanting to make sure you feel pretty comfortable with the ice conditions before you mix it up with a whole bunch of rocks. The ice has looked great here in the first two draws. It's fast and has plenty of curl. Hits are running fairly straight, which are all things that you want to see. So going to see an exchange of hits here in this third end. As Darren would say, we are headed for blanks though by the look of it early, but lots can still happen before we finish up here.
On a one-way ticket to Blanksville.
I love that it has a theme song. That's the first time I've heard that.
Those one-way tickets don't always get you there, Chels.
That's true. That's a good point. Well, while we are exchanging hits here, let's run through a few more of our local sponsors. I can't believe how long this list is, but here we go. The silver sponsors. E360s, Fortis, Alberta, GLDC, Evergreen Co-op, the town of Ponoka, Kiera, and Service Credit Union. This one needs to curl. Is it going to get out of there? Okay, good. Helps in trying to help it out at the side. It's close. Does just spin out there, it looks like.
Wow. What drama.
It's the only kind of drama it looks like we're going to get this end, so we're going to lean into it.
You're a Jets fan, hey, Chels?
I sure am.
Do you ever watch the Jets play in September? In the preseason?
Yeah, I haven't as much the last few years, but when I used to live Back home, I would often have tickets for the preseason games and go check them out. There was once or twice that I went to a preseason game where they came here to play the Flames as well.
Because that's what this part of the provincials reminds me of.
Yeah, especially, I don't think the whole game is going to be like this, but especially the first few ends of this, and especially the second game, and it's ad nauseum already, I'm sure, at this point, but with one team having played and one team not having played, it's hard for it to go any other way to a certain degree. So both teams pretty content to continue to trade hits here, and just looks like another blank going up on the board, and then we'll see. And they did try to throw a guard. Team Phillips tried to throw the corner guard in the second end. So I imagine that they would do the same thing in the fourth end. So hopefully it gets out in front of that house and we get a few rocks in play.
Sometimes when you get on the highway to Blanksville, it can be just like an open prairie road west of Winnipeg. Wide open, just beautiful in its own way. But we want action.
Yeah, I've been on a few of those roads in my day. Did you ever do this though? Like, is this ever a strategy that you would play on purpose if it was against a team that you knew liked rocks in play, that you'd purposely try to keep it open?
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's something to be said for that. I know I've done it to I've attempted that strategy against a few skips who I knew got frustrated when there wasn't rocks in play, and it's a legitimate strategy if that's the case. I don't know that that's the case here. I think it's more just feeling out the ice and things, but I do think that there's something to that, because it gets a team that loves rocks in play. If you don't play with them, if they throw a center guard and you draw to the wing, and they feel like they have to chase it, they start to get frustrated, and then they get crazy aggressive, and maybe you get mistakes out of them that way. It can be an effective way to do it.
I used to find shells, and I was always a really good hitter, so partly that was the strength of my game, but I always found when you were playing a top team or a team that was a lot better than you, if you did this for a while, they would get frustrated that the game was close.
Yeah, you can keep the game close if there's especially the bigger the gap in kind of ranking or skill level or whatever you want to call it, the more frustrated the top team is when it's close for a long time. If you can just keep scoring your single points and forcing them to one, maybe two, and just keep the game close, eventually they do get frustrated, and then it's a matter of how they respond to it. Nice hit and roll there for Team Richards. No change in strategy here. Kate Goodhelpson, who's throwing this rock now for Team Phillips, did come from the same University of Alberta program. She was part of that Pandas curling program for years, so we'll be pretty familiar with the game plan of Team Richards because of that, because they all play basically the same play card. So she'll know what they're up to and what they're going to do next, which is always helpful to know. And no mistake there from Gracelyn Richards. So for Hannah Phillips, I would think you're going to try to roll this to one of the two wings. Leave yourself a shorter rollout for your blank attempt.
Here comes a out turn, probably with about control weight. So Chelsea, on these shots, like these types of shots that you would expect to execute, what do you get from them when you're throwing them in a game like this? Like, you know, you see Gracelyn watching the line carefully. She's probably feeling, how did I throw it? Like, are you trying to learn from that shot?
I think you need to be. It's a wasted opportunity if you're not. So I think when we would get into a situation like this, we would change the weights up a little bit, maybe throw the inside out turn to see what that was doing. If it's a wide open hit, you're probably making contact with it at least. So why not try to learn the sheet? Because later on, the precision level is going to go up. So, you know, throwing that, and I think that rolling it to, try to pick a really precise place you want to roll it to, so you're not just watching the roll, okay, anywhere over there is good. Like, try to say, okay, right to the edge of the 8 foot. Because later on, you're going to have to make the shot that precisely. So I think the good teams for sure are learning from every shot they throw out here, especially when it's a wide open, easy shot. Like, try to take as much out of that as you can so that when you do have to make it more precisely, you know what it's going to do.
And I guess in some ways you can make any shot precise, right? Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, hit and roll 1 foot to here. You know,
Exactly.
That's a precise shot. Yeah.
Pick a spot. Same with a guard. If it's wide open guards, like, it's easy to get complacent on those. But as sweepers, as line callers, everybody needs to still be engaged so that you're staying focused on what you're doing, and B, so that you get that precision dialed in, because at some point that will be required. And if you're trying to figure it out on the fly, it's harder. Why wouldn't you try to figure it out when it's a wide open shot? But if you can pinpoint it, okay, we want it right on the Boston Pizza logo, splitting the center line, rather than I want a one guard. You know, get precise with those calls. I think that's a good. I know I talk about that the odd time I've coached junior teams. Don't just turn your brain off on these. Like, get something out of it. Oh, this one needs to move.
Oh.
And that will be a big miss from Hannah Phillips. Played the whole end to blanket, and then unfortunately not quite enough to get it out. So Team Richards steals a single point, and they will lead 1-0 going into the fourth. Phillips with the hammer. We'll be right back.
Fuck me. Oh.
This is where the focus comes into play. Look at that. Canada, say hello to your new champions.
Proudly pulling for this generation of Canadians and the next for over 40 years at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
So you're a pizza person, but you're married to a wing person, and your kids are salad people? You can't pick your fam, but with over 50 menu items to choose from, you can make them all happy. Order today and enjoy Boston Pizza at home.
So an unfortunate end to a well-played end there for Hannah Phillips. Played the whole end looking for that blank and executed it perfectly right up until the last one. I'm not sure if she just slid a little wide or set that a little bit, but doesn't get enough of the redstone to remove it, so it ends up being a steal of one for Gracelyn Richards. And now Team Phillips holding the hammer, playing the fourth end. What would your approach be now, Darren, after that?
Exactly what she just did. Just point out there to the corner somewhere and be like, let's go. I've had enough of this.
Yeah, that's always really frustrating when you don't even try to set up a two and then you end up giving up a steal or even getting forced. It's just not a great feeling. You feel sometimes when you try to set up for your two and it doesn't go well and you end up having to take one or give up the steal, it's because you were trying hard to get that 2 points, and then when you play the whole end for the blank, it puts a lot of pressure on that last stone and unfortunately doesn't go their way. But it does mean that we're going to get a corner guard and a center guard. So some rocks in play in the fourth end, which is very exciting for the commentators.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Now maybe I'll be able to stay focused on the game.
Yes, we apologize for Darren's contribution to the swear jar as we were going into the break there, folks.
Yeah. An unfortunate incident where I thought I had the mute button pushed.
Well, anyone that knows you wouldn't be terribly surprised by that anyway, so.
But my true feelings on that shot came out, so.
Yeah. Well, and that's,
I mean,
if I was Hannah Phillips, that is exactly what I would have been thinking. So it's likely what a few players on the ice wanted to say as well, and might have. We can't hear their mic, so not sure. But good center guard there for Gracelyn Richards, and now it looks like Hannah Phillips going to ignore that and just go around it. So we are getting into it now, Darren.
Yep. Now we're gonna even end. Phillips has the hammer, and it's I would equate that, like, in my head when I would play, it'd be like I used to really like watching boxing, and it'd be like if you took a little shot, right at the beginning, just wake you up, and all right, let's go. I'm in a fight. So I think the Phillips team, they're you see two beautiful shots here. And maybe this is what they should have been doing all along, even, right? Is going after them. They played earlier. They know that they clearly know their weight. Let your skill come through.
Absolutely, and it sure seems like they're a scoreboard team, because they did try to throw that corner guard in the second end, but we're happy to blank the first and happy to blank the third. That's not what ended up happening, but that's how they played. So obviously wanting to blank those odd ends with hammer and try to score in the evens, and now we're really into it. We got a bunch of rocks in play. I think the thing to be careful of with for Team Phillips is sometimes when you miss a shot like that, you're so frustrated by the miss that you can kind of try too hard to get it back right away, and because of your frustration, I know this was always a thing that I tended to do, and I remember my dad, who was my coach, and his infinite wisdom telling me to relax and not go crazy the next end, but I wanted to because I was mad at the miss, and so then you can go a little bit too hard. I don't think that that's what she's doing, but it is something to keep in the back of your mind in that situation, that that is a thing that happens in your brain after you miss a shot like that. Like, well, screw this, now now we're going to go for it because we need to get points back. Well, you don't really. You just need to make sure you can score at least one, and two would be great. So this is a smart call, not going crazy. You want to miss the back one though, and she does. Rolls to another corner, so not all bad there. Not the called shot, but still a pretty good result.
I mean, it's a good situation for Phillips. They're going to need to make something. I thought on the last shot it would have been kind of good to come in there with maybe back 8 and just kind of jiggle those two and sit right there and shake up the Yahtzee can. Let's go.
Oh yeah, you could have for sure. Higher risk, but a really good result if you make it.
It just, that's...
So guard being replaced here for Team Richards. They're set up really well in the top of the forfeit, so no need to really do anything else, but this one needs to stop. That is a little bit of an overcurl, so now your shot is even easier, Darren, than it was the last time, because that guard's a little bit longer.
Yes. Do it. Do it. Oh.
They're not going to. We're going to see this, I would imagine, same idea to try to run this back into the mess there, but...
This isn't the wrong call, but now you can't do it again. Like, that was a perfect time to do it because there was still time.
Yeah, and because you did get that little bit of the longer guard with a bit of an overcurl, that's probably the best opportunity you're going to get to make a play like that. And this one's going to overcurl as well. So still leaves those two reds, and you're, to your point, you're running out of time to get in there, and even it's going to take you 2 shots to get rid of both of those in all likelihood. So
well, I mean, I would say that they're in trouble now.
I agree.
And I thought at every point until this very point, they were in control of this end, in my opinion.
I don't know if I would say control, but they were set up reasonably well. But if you're going to play those run backs, at some point, you have to make noise in the house or else you're in trouble. And I do think that it's turned that corner here. I agree with you. So going to look to put that guard back. Probably would like this a little bit tighter than the last one so that those rocks in the house are not as easily accessible. That being said, if you know she's going to try a run back, which she's shown you that she might, then longer probably is better. So you could make an argument both ways on this one. Pretty similar.
It's just there's 3 rocks left now. You got to go in. You got to go and do something back there. I mean, unless you connect on the run back, I guess. You know, if you don't get both those reds, then it's just another draw around to center. Yes, I like this call.
Yeah, I agree. I think you have to. I think probably 1 rock too late, but at least they're doing it now. You got to try to get in there, bump that back one out of the forfeit, leave your shooter somewhere near the front of the other one. And at least you just, at this point, a deuce would be great, but you're mostly just trying to make sure you at least have something to score 1. Big shot here from Kate Goodhelpson. Oh, on the curl early. That's not usually a good sign. Gonna need this one to walk over here.
She is getting it going. Nice technique.
It is moving.
Very nice carve. That's a. It helps their situation to score.
Yeah, it's better than it was. I think maybe just a little bit more weight than they were thinking, do you think? Or either that or too much ice, I guess, because it looked like a pretty good throw.
Yeah, maybe just a little wide.
Maybe. If it curls anymore, if it gets to more of that and they sit second and third, then all of a sudden it puts some pressure on Gracelyn Richards here. As it stands there, it's still second shot, but it still does, like you said, it does help them at least to maybe have something to score. I think right now you could probably chase that rock with either turn with just like a back 4-foot weight and tap it out enough to get 1. But of course, Gracelyn's going to try to put 1 in here to prevent that from happening.
It's just a situation where the aggressive call at the time is actually, in my opinion, less risky.
I agree.
And it's hard to look at it that way, but
you have more margin for error with the little tap. As long as your shooter stays somewhere close to the front and you move things around, you're in better shape than if you don't connect on the run back. So the run back's fine if you make noise in the house, but as soon as you don't, and those were long run backs too, so as soon as you don't, you put yourself in a worse situation. It seems like the defensive call, but I agree. I think it's the higher risk call in a lot of ways. So probably looking for this one. What do you think? Like, what's your ideal depth here, Darren?
I would say like 3/4 into the 4-foot, splitting center, or maybe just a hair under curl split center.
I agree. This one's going to come up a bit light. So now we'll see what Hannah Phillips does. I think that out-turn chase, this might be her chance to make it.
Yeah, actually, if she can throw, I would love to see this rock get pushed beyond the 2 yellow ones.
I agree.
Because then one more mistake and it's 4 yellow.
Yeah, use
so
it first, third, and fourth and say, okay,
yeah.
your turn.
Yeah. So whatever weight it takes to get your 2 yellow ones shot in front of the one you're promoting. So back 12, back line, maybe?
Yeah, it's probably similar to what Kate just threw. So they should have a pretty good idea of the line here and what it's going to do.
And here's a big chance for Hannah Phillips to put that in the past, last end, and get going in the right direction here. Little backline out turn push. Early clean on the straight.
Gotta go to get this by. It's coming to.
Has to go to get by. It's very close.
Oh no! Just a little feather rub on the guard.
Oh, and the weight was perfect, I think.
Yeah, I agree. The weight was perfect for sure. Unfortunate there for Hannah Phillips. Now for Gracelyn Richards, decision time mostly just about where to put this. What shot does she have for one? What's the easiest shot for one, and how do I take it away? Because
she choked her in-turn off too.
Yeah, I did.
Or do you think there's a path there to the button on the intern through all that?
I think you could probably get there, but I don't know how much of that red might be covering the pinhole right now.
Do we have an overhead shot of the house?
I don't know.
I wish we'd. There. Yeah, show me the T line.
Perfect. Yeah, you'd have to move it, I think, to get shot rock, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I don't think you can draw on the intern. So yeah, it's full send on the out. Like if you can guard that out turn, boy, what is it? An angle run back for 4 or for 3? I guess because you could try to run that guard in there and make that double. And
well, at some point, don't you just hit the open one and say, like you can play the intern. I mean, it's not that easy, but you could play the intern with
give them the one
like bumper or something and give them one. Like the difference between a steal of 1 and a steal of 2 here is pretty large. So
that's
also, if this curls enough and you could just draw the full 4-foot, I would just do that and give up the single as well. In a 10-end game, a 2-point deficit isn't that big a deal, but 3 points feels exponentially worse than that.
it is true though, hey Chelsea. Like being down 2 never feels all that bad, but when you get down 3, then it just feels a lot harder.
It does. It totally does. Unfortunate overcurl there for Gracelyn. So going to leave this exact same shot for Hannah Phillips, but easier than the one she just threw.
She's taking
a tiny bit more ice here, hey?
At least a broom more. I'd say she's probably taking 6 inches, maybe 4 to 6 inches more.
It tells you that she liked how she threw that first one and wants to throw it the same, but then needs a little bit more ice. So that's smart then, if that's what you're going to do.
I like the throw early, but
yeah, they didn't seem worried about it out of her hand. So
big shot for Hannah Phillips here. A chance to even the game at 1 and make a fairly tough shot for a score.
So last rock in the 4th end. Hannah Phillips looking for the single point after an end where they didn't play all that well. So this is a big opportunity to get out of jail here, but they got to go again to get this one by. Anna Monroe on the sweep. And she will. No mistake there. Great shot.
Real nice. Real nice adjustment on the ice. Good scrub by Anna Monroe. And we, 1-1. The gloves are off, Chelsea.
They are. We'll be right back for 5th end action.
Original 16, a great way to celebrate things done well.
Round them up, move them in. No place for your saddle and cowboy boots after the Calgary Stampede? At Sentinel Storage, we are proud to provide you with storage solutions that safeguard your valuables. Whether you're moving, renovating, or simply require extra space, we offer convenient and secure storage that caters to all needs. Find the Sentinel storage you need close to home. For a free estimate, visit sentinel.ca.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible generosity. The need continues year-round, and with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
Your friend.
I know. We are back with fifth end action, an exciting end and an exciting finish there. The end was mostly Team Richards the whole way through. They had Hannah Phillips in all kinds of trouble, but one guard over curling for Gracelyn Richards on her last left an open tap for one for Hannah Phillips, and she made no mistake. So we are a tie game going into the fifth end. Looks like we're back to a fairly conservative start here, though, Darren.
Yeah, but it's been like all over the place too. Like, how many times did you think it was going to be a blank? Then you thought a steal, maybe. Then you, like, that end had some character.
Yeah, that was fun. There was a lot of stuff going on there, and some chances, and some some made shots, some missed shots. We loved the booth loved it, so we appreciate it. And it looks
Give us another one. Give us another one.
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna get this. Looks like another guard here from, or maybe she's coming around it. That just looks like a lot of ice for the come around to me.
I mean, it's a center guard that's over curled, creating a situation that's a little bit unique, Chelsea.
Absolutely.
And I enjoy getting into these kind of weird ends.
Yeah, sometimes when that first drop doesn't go where it's supposed to, it makes it more interesting for everybody, a little more confusing for the players, but it makes you actually think about stuff. When all the shots are made for the first four shots, you pretty much know what you're going to do, and you pretty much know what the other team is going to do. But then when one of them goes a little off kilter, like that center guard over curling by that much, it changes both teams' approach all of a sudden.
You know, the fact, like, I think she said board weight. That rock is 2/3 buried, maybe. The fact that she can get to this with board weight, you know, it's a testament to the surface that Matt Yo and Kyle Winters have put together here, along with the volunteers in Rimbey.
Absolutely, and anyone who's played at an arena event of any kind in Alberta probably has played on Matt Yo's ice. He's very, very talented ice maker, and we see him at a lot of these top events in Alberta, which is awesome because he definitely knows what he's doing, and no mistake there. What a great shot by Anna Monroe. Perfect weight control. Get the weight right is the most important part of that shot, and she nailed it.
Yeah, and to have it nailed like this early, I'm talking about the ice. Yeah, I think, you know, things are looking up for Mr. Yo and crew here.
Yeah, it certainly looks like the conditions are great. I haven't put a clock on a draw, but when we could hear the players in the first end or two, we were hearing something like 15 to T-line, which is very, very fast. And then lots of curl on these middleweight shots, which makes them pretty makeable, and that's kind of all you want as a player. They're making the shot look easy by executing it perfectly over and over again. It wasn't that easy a shot to start with, but they've got this spot figured out. So trading these little soft weight taps. Team Phillips, based on how they played the first few ends, probably are looking for the blank here in the odd end, I would think.
Both these two young teams are showing some nice touch here.
Yeah, the weight, because on ice like this, it's really straight with hit weight, right? So then you get a lot of curl with the draws, and you get in between curl in the middle. So then it's really important that you get that weight right. If you're a little bit heavy, it's never going to curl. And if you're a little bit light, you're going to hit the guard because the break point's so much earlier. And that's it sounds like, when I say that, it sounds like a bad thing. It's a great thing. That rewards good throws and good weight control. That means the player who throws it the best is going to make the shot because it's so consistent and so predictable that it's on you as a thrower to do your job, which is to get the weight right and get the line right. Trying to get this one to curl a little bit. Looks like hair on the high side, but does stay in the house, which was important. If you saw the rollout, then you'd give Hannah Phillips the option to either go around that guard or play the blank by peeling it, but it's your own guard, so, but it's not quite where you would want it to be. While we have a minute, let's go through a few more sponsors. Bronze level sponsors: ATB Financial, Diamond Liquor, Rimbey Kinsman, MNP LLP, Raise Esso, SIRS, 3D Development, BDO, Busted Ladies, Rimbey Review, and Boost Motors, as well as 106 community level sponsors who have also signed on to assist with the event. That's just incredible.
Rimbey and this Central Alberta region, it's a very big supporter of curling. Lots of curling clubs in the region. Just small clubs scattered around in all the little communities.
Yeah, you would know. You make the ice around all of them at this point, don't you?
But that's the thing. No, there's so many of them, Jels. There's so many more.
No, I'm joking, but you do. What, 4 of them or something now?
Yeah. I've got Red Deer, Rimbey, Bentley, and Eckville, along with my staff, who they're taking care of the Red Deer Curling Club tonight while I grace you all with my wonderful commentary and eating popsicles on the air. Chelsea, I'm just so hungry. I scraped 2 rinks today, and I didn't eat enough.
That's fair.
And it's just too long to wait. So, as we continue here, we're, you know what, Chelsea? Do you support only having 1 ticket to Blanksville per game?
Yes, I do. I think anything we can do to reduce blanks is a good idea, but we did just test that rollout at the Grand Slam event, and all it essentially does is change which team is being aggressive. So instead of the team with the hammer in the odd end looking for the blank, so they're hitting everything and they're playing doubles and stuff and trying to get out of it with the blank, it becomes the other team doing the exact same thing, because they know that if it's a blank situation, then the blank is a force. So if there's no rocks in play, then the other team has to decide if they want to take their blank, or at the slam, you couldn't blank 2 ends in a row, so that wasn't possible. So they still ended up being open. So it didn't really generate more offense, I don't think, but that's what they were hoping it would do. But yeah, I think blank ends, as far as, I mean, as players, as a player, I love them. I was a big scoreboard management player most of my career, so we purposely would play for blanks, and we would manage the game that way, and it worked really well. But it's not good for viewers, and it's not good for generating new interest in curling and all that. It's not exciting to watch at all. So it is something that I know World Curling and the slams and all that they're looking at it and trying to figure out what the answer is to make it more offensive, more of the time, more like mixed doubles, which is, you just never would see this in mixed doubles.
Hey, Chelsea, what do you think about my idea? The pin's worth 2.
Yeah, you know what? We played that once at that Everest mixed event years ago, and it's an interesting one. I would like to see, and the slam would be the place that they might actually try it. I would like to see it like trialed for a whole event. This is, I don't think that was the call, but that worked out extremely well. for Hannah Phillips. I think she was trying the chase, and I'm not sure if she maybe just got that started a little bit, but a great audible and tapped that almost to a freeze. So now the scoring area got a little bit smaller for Gracelyn Richards here. Where do you put your second one to not leave a double or a freeze or something to take it all away? Yeah,
a lot of ice.
As a 2-point pin. Have you ever actually played a game with, or any games with it?
With
the 2 points for the pin.
Yeah, oh yeah, but just like just in practice though.
Yeah.
I like it because if you get something going around a center guard, you could steal too, as well.
100%. Well, and it also then, so then if there's no rocks in play, do I take the chance that I'm going to be able to hit the pin for the 2, but I don't want to be forced? Or do I take my blank? Like it makes people think twice about blanking, which I think is what we're looking to do, really. Looking to draw to the middle here, probably want to be deeper than that rock in the full top 4 foot there so that there's no double off this one, but going to need to curl a little bit to get to second shot. Looks pretty close. Got to go on this. I think she probably got it there, but that does leave a double for Hannah Phillips, I think. Yeah, there it is. That's probably thin half, a third. We'll make that double. That looks like ice for the in turn. Which turn would you throw at this, Darren?
I'd definitely throw the out turn.
Yeah, it looks more natural to me too, and you're going to get more action off your shooter, plus you're going to get a steeper roll. I mean, I guess this could be ice for both, I'm not sure. No, it's an in turn. So it is makeable with this turn. It just looks a little bit harder, but this would be a personal preference as well.
That's curling.
So a huge miss there. That went from being a force with a pretty hard shot for 1 to a 3-point score out of nowhere.
Yeah, you know, it's a tough one because with that in turn, you know, if you flare it back a little bit, it's just your margin to hit that rock is a lot smaller.
Yeah, there was more good places you could hit it with the out turn because you could afford to hit it a bit thicker and still make it, where with the in turn you had to hit it pretty thin, but nothing wrong with calling it that way, but no, obviously not the result they were looking for. A big opportunity here for Gracelyn Richards to put a big 3 on the board and end that we're in a game that hasn't had a lot of multiple point scores to this point. So your 2 or your 3 feels even bigger when it's an end where, or a game where producing those deuces has been hard to come by. Good line call, little chisel, and no mistake. So 3 on the board for Gracelyn Richards. She'll take a 4-1 lead going into the 5th end break. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
So you're a pizza person, but you're married to a wing person, and your kids are salad people? You can't pick your fam, but with over 50 menu items to choose from, you can make them all happy. Order today and enjoy Boston pizza at home.
Original 16. A great way to celebrate things.
Round them up, move them in. No place for your saddle and cowboy boots after the Calgary Stampede? At Sentinel Storage, we are proud to provide you with storage solutions that safeguard your valuables. Whether you're moving, renovating, or simply require extra space, we offer convenient and secure storage that caters to all needs. Find the Sentinel storage you need close to home. For a free estimate, visit sentinel.ca.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible generosity. The need continues year-round, and with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
Welcome back, N6 here in Rimbey. You know, Team Richards is they're in control here. Phillips looking for a deuce to get back into the game. a deuce here would get them, in a situation where they're going to be able to have a finish anyway. 3 points at this point, it's not insurmountable. Nice corner guard. A little tight, but possibly could throw double on it. A double corner. That's a pretty good freeze there. A good start to the end. Now, the teams get a little break at the fifth end. Between 5 and 6 in a 10-end game, they'll get a 5-minute break to talk with their coach and regroup, get a little bit of rest, maybe eat something quickly. So it is a time when something like that happens to regroup and, as they say, get back on the horse. We'll see. They are attempting the double stacked corner guard, a really tight one and then a really long one. Really nice shot there. And
yeah, the break probably came at a really good time for Team Phillips. Just didn't really deserve to give up a 3 ever there, and so sometimes that few minutes just to kind of take a breath and have that discussion and talk about, okay, so here's the situation. It's not the end of the world. We just got to get 2 back, like that kind of stuff. Because sometimes when you give up an end like that, again, I mentioned it a little bit earlier, you can try too hard to get it all back right away and sell the farm a little bit too much. So I would think probably was a productive conversation for them at that fifth end break, and they're coming out in 6 maybe a little bit better prepared than they would without those few minutes there.
a little bit of a break here. With that rock sliding deep like that, they can kind of shake up the rocks and possibly get a little roll. One of the most important things about this shot is the weight. How much weight do you throw, Chels, to make this shot?
I would be looking at probably like a control weight, for sure no more than a normal, because the most important thing here is to stick your shooter in the house somewhere. It's not, making the roll is great, but if you don't stick, it's not very good. So throw a weight where you can stick and give yourself a chance. So that was probably about maybe 9.5, 10 seconds, I would guess, which is probably about what I would have thrown.
Now she's got those 2 corner guards and in good position here to create some offense.
Well, and that's why sticking is more important. Making the roll would have been a sort of a bonus almost, because if they make this hit and roll and I'm Hannah Phillips, I'm ignoring both those red rocks and drawing around those guards now. But you had to get that there's 3 of them just stacked in the 4-foot, so you have to deal with it. But you didn't need to do anything that fancy there other than kill a couple reds. That one will roll out, so good opportunity here for Hannah Phillips to make a good draw around those guards. You probably don't want to be super high in the house on this one. You'd like it to be somewhere near the tee line so that you have room for 2 behind there, because you're likely going to see a peel coming from Gracelyn Richards. Or Team Richards, I should say. We were informed at the break that Gracelyn is not here. The bios that we have did not suggest that, but here we go.
It's September hockey, Chels.
Yeah, it's the prelims.
Yeah. we got to get our legs under us. This game, it's been, really back and forth. But overall, Team Richards has had control, I think.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. The single point that Team Phillips got in the fourth end looked like a steal of 1 or 2 for a lot of that end, and just that one over curl on the guard, so outplayed them that end. And then it shouldn't have been a 3 ever in the last end, but it could have easily been 2 or a draw for 1. But either way, they've probably been. It's been a pretty good back and forth, but they've probably been the better of the 2 teams to this point. And then when you're given an opportunity like that to get the 3rd point, it's also a moment where you really need to refocus, because they didn't see a 3 coming there. Nobody did. So then you have to go, okay, but this draw for the 3rd point is a huge shot. So then you got to take some deep breaths and go, because if you're not being handed 3, you still have to make that. So good job by Emma Yarmich, I think, is throwing the last rock. So good job there to kind of take a few deep breaths and bring that heart rate down and focus on the shot that she had to make, and she was able to make it. So now for Team Phillips looking to generate this deuce, and they do have that 1 rocket. They're choosing to leave it there, so this is a hit to sit too.
And Emma does have some skipping experience at the junior level. So, she is definitely, up for the challenge here. So, Phillips split across the house here. How do you get a manufacturer way out of this, Chelsea, if you're Team Richards?
I'm not sure you do, and I'm not sure that you care. I don't think they're that sad to give up 2. The whole end's kind of gone that way. You had to stick on that. The hit and roll out probably killed your chances of turning this into a force or a steal of any kind, but this is still going to leave you 1 up with the hammer going to 7. So I think at this point, unless you get a rollout and you can play a chase, I think you have to just take your medicine and give them the 2.
And would Phillips be content to get 2 here?
Well, it looks that way based on her choice to hit and roll away. I think if you were trying to generate a 3, you would have either ignored that and drawn around these 2 yellows again, or tried to hit and roll behind your rocks that are already over there. So to me, her hitting and rolling to the wide side says she's playing for 2. I did get out here, so now decision time. Do you play the chase, Darren, or do you like the little run back?
I'd play the run myself, but
the run seems like probably the easier shot to me, but the problem is you leave a corner guard if you make it. So I think the result is better here, because at least you'll be sitting 1 in the house and they'll have to make a decision. But yeah, the run looks easier to me as well.
Well, and the thing about the run is if you can just hit it a little bit high, you might be able to roll
a bit, yeah.
A bit. Oh, and it's your rock.
Right, so you're going to have a short run back again, worst case scenario with your own rock. So that's true. That makes a difference as well.
But I mean, this isn't a bad call. You make a nice roll and stick on the side 8-foot, side 4-foot there.
Yeah, it's a really good
It's the same type of result, yeah.
Yeah. So probably looking for what, like a bumper weight here maybe?
Something like that. Nice extension there. Ooh, well executed shot.
She threw that fairly hard, but it still did stick in the side of the 8-foot. So decision time here now for Hannah Phillips.
That was a really nice shot. You probably couldn't roll it into a better spot. Hey, Chelsea, like another couple feet and kind of can draw around the corner.
Yeah, I think that's the key, is she rolled to a place where if Hannah Phillips were to ignore this and go around the corner, she wouldn't be shot rock. So that's, yeah, I don't know that there's much of a better place to roll to. I agree with you.
Do you ever do that anyway right here?
I think I would, just given the scoreboard.
It's definitely something that I would consider. Or freeze.
Yeah, freeze and hope she blasts everything, and then you get your blank out of it, I guess. But this is playing for the blank anyway, so.
Yeah.
I would consider going around it, but it is definitely riskier, because then she splits the house, and then you have to make a harder shot for your single point in your forest anyway. So this way, playing for the blank and going to try to set it all up again next end. They did have a good setup going there, so I can see where her brain is going with this.
I think we're headed to Blanksville again.
It does appear that way.
But I've thought that before this game. Where did that get me?
Yeah, we thought it about, well, we were right a few times, but then the flashed blank kind of screwed up our track record a little bit.
Hello?
Sorry.
Hello?
Figure out how to put you on speaker.
I'm in the sixth end of a commentary in the women's provincials. Yeah.
So blank attempt for Hannah Phillips with the in-turn.
Yep, Hannah Phillips here just trying to roll out. It's 4-1.
Oh? Was that your commentary that you just did?
Intern heat. Oh, and does not get her ticket to Blanksville.
It will be a single point for Hannah Phillips. Team Richards will take a 4-2 lead and the hammer into the seventh end. We'll be right back.
Okay, I'm in the break.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Original 16, a great way to celebrate things done well.
That's funny. Well, it's been an interesting game so far, both in the booth and out on the ice.
So here we go with seventh end action from Rimbey, Alberta. Unfortunate miss there from Hannah Phillips does make the score 4-2, and Team Richards has both the lead and the hammer, so it's going to be an uphill battle here for Team Phillips. Darren, if you're Hannah Phillips, what are you thinking right now? What's your approach to this?
I mean, I just think there have been opportunities, so you can use that as confidence. I mean, there have been times when it looks like Phillips is going to score multiple points, and it just hasn't materialized for them. So, I would just focus on trying to get the execution down. Making sure that you're making shots, executing well, and see if you can maybe, you're going to need a break or two to probably get back into this game. But, you do have 4 ends. I would say just the focus would be to, what I would say to my teammates probably is, even if we lose this game, let's play 4 good ends here.
Yeah,
that's
what
start feeling good.
Well, you might not win this game. You're statistically probably not going to, but you've got a bunch more games coming up. So to me, at this point, it's not that you're giving up, but you're saying, let's just focus on getting some precise rock placement going, the kind of throws and releases that we want, so that and draw weight, so that we're prepared for tomorrow, for the next few games. And often when you do that and you take the pressure off yourself of trying too hard to make everything perfect, then you start to make some shots and you put a little pressure on them and maybe you get the win. But even if you don't, you need to focus on feeling confident going into the next game, regardless of whether that's in the A side or the B side.
I mean, there's some rocks in play, some opportunity. A little bit of a click here, right on the nose. Just release that red one. Maybe back 4 weight would play well here.
Yeah, really well executed freeze. So still an opportunity here, but a big shot for Anna Monroe. Need to have your shooter stay on this one regardless, but would love to unlock that back yellow a little bit if you could.
This is got a curl. At that point, a bit of a wall back there. Something. The Yellow Rocks are not in the greatest position, but still, the red one can be snuck through that hole. You've got your tight guard that you can use.
Yeah, it's still out here. So for Team Phillips, you're pretty happy about rocks in play, even if the positioning of them isn't great just yet. It still gives you an opportunity to tap things around, and it just takes one good shot to set up a steal, right?
I was gonna say Emma's got to walk up and rip this guard, no?
Yeah, I think so, and that's what she's landed on. This is for sure the right call, certainly the scoreboard call.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, just barely, but that's good enough. That does the job.
Yeah, there's your sponsor right there, Sentinel Storage. They've got the one that I'm most familiar with is that one by COP there, Chels.
Yeah,
that's a massive building.
It's a huge building, yeah. Right as you're driving out towards bound for Canmore, you go right past it on the main road there across from Canada Olympic Park. We drove right past it when we stayed in the Bubble Hotel, and I can hear Darren shuddering from the other end over here. That was a long time in that bubble Scotty's air slam situation. But yeah, it's a big location for Sentinel Storage there. They're a longtime partner of Curling Alberta and the presenting sponsor of this great Scotties Championship. So thank you to Sentinel for everything they've done for curling in Alberta.
The sponsors are extremely important. And Chelsea, you've been in Alberta for a while now. How long has it been?
In Alberta?
Yeah.
Almost 11 years.
And you see a lot of these same sponsors year after year. You know, we've got Best Western Hotels and Resorts. Best Western Hotels Resorts is an award-winning global network of hotels located in over 100 countries and territories that offers accommodations for all types of travelers. Best Western is Curling Alberta's preferred accommodation partner and a proud partner for Curling Alberta for over 20 years. And that's one that I remember being involved for so long.
Yeah, Curling Alberta has done a great job and are very lucky to have such great partners that stick around for these long periods of time. We just got enough of that yellow rock to get it out of the house for Team Richards there.
You know, in Chelsea, it is a Wednesday night, but it's never a bad day to crack open an 016.
Never is, no.
Original 16s are good any day of the week. The official beer of Curling Alberta and the Ice Lounge. Very successful brewer and an internationally recognized producer of world-class beer. And I can say that an 016 goes down smooth. And it can make a Wednesday night awfully fun, Chelsea.
They are a great company. We were lucky enough to be sponsored by them for a few years when I was playing out of Saskatchewan, and they are a Saskatchewan-based company, and now have expanded to many parts of the country, actually, but I know that they are the beer at the Saddle Dome in Calgary, and very involved with sports in general across the country, especially in the prairies, and just great people and a great company to deal with.
So that's what the Dome foams are, hey?
Yeah, now it's I think 2 years now they've had the contract.
Huh. Because I really like the Dome foam this year for some reason.
They will, because it's 016, that's why.
Yeah.
So Hannah Phillips sitting second, third, and fourth here, I think, but looking for the double. Double and roll to the middle would be great, but you don't really care. You're just trying to send yellow rocks out of the house.
I think I made a mistake, and I was talking to my son on here. But what I was trying to tell him was Bel Air Direct offers Curling Alberta's curlers and their families exclusive discounts on insurance. And I did not want him to miss out on that opportunity, Chelsea. So
it's important information for Brady.
That's right. Yeah, whether you want residential or auto insurance, if you mention Curling Alberta, Bel Air Direct will donate part of the premium collected to Curling Alberta, which in turn supports local curling clubs and events. So in some way, that will come back to you.
Love that.
That's a nice little incentive there.
So double not made there for Sarah Yarmich, and so now some kind of little freeze tap here, I think, for Kate Goodhopson. Maybe make a little pocket here with the red and the yellow.
Solid shot by Kate. Real nice spot there.
Is the triple there, though?
I don't know if that... Oh, we need another overhead shot.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, probably.
I think it jams.
Yeah. But you might.
But definitely double.
Even if it jams, I don't think it's that bad. If you get the other 2 yellows out and you sit like first and third or first and second or something, right?
These rocks are live, so nice set of stones. Is she frozen in place?
Yeah.
Is everybody seeing this feed like that? Like,
I'm not sure how that happened. I'm actually curious, but
what happened?
As it stands.
Oh, she must have nosed it. And it just like kicked that and dead jammed at the back.
Dead jammed on the other one, yeah. And left her shooter there in the middle.
And we're left to guess in bewilderment.
Oh, that has to be.
No, I don't know if like maybe my computer's slow or.
No, mine was the same.
And a timeout being called. Trying to figure out what kind of play they've caught. What do they have, Chels?
I don't know. Like, that seems like it would be good for you as Team Phillips, but how do you get that red out of there? Coach Mark Johnson coming out to discuss with Hannah Phillips. I guess you could just try to kind of unlock it and stay on the nose. Is that any good? Like, stay on... Like, I would throw an intern at this maybe and try to stay on about the center line, partially frozen on, or in front of the red at least, tap that back so that you could kill it on your next one.
And possibly even bump into the side one.
Yeah.
Like, not now, but later maybe. Yeah. I mean, they're running out of time to make things happen.
Days like this, by the time we get into even tomorrow, the players will have the ice figured out, and we'll see a lot of great shot making. And we have seen that at times today, but there's still just that newness of it, and you're still trying to map the sheet out and figure the rocks out and what's the speed and what's the difference between the ice we need for hack and the ice we need for bumper kind of thing. And that's normal and early in events.
In this format, I kind of feel like the A event is a little bit of a... I mean, if you win through the B, it's just about as good. I like that about this event is...
Yeah, for sure. Being in that 1-2 game is important, but you can do that through the B side. So obviously it's nice to be the number one team with choice and hammer and whatever it is that you get for that. But as long as you're in that game, I think you're pretty happy. So yeah, the one loss certainly won't kill you. This is my personal favorite format for any event. So big miss there. That's an interesting call because you just with the no tick rule, playing a chase on that rock is gutsy because you can't afford to touch that center guard. And unfortunately for Team Phillips, that's exactly what they did and moved it off the center line. So now it just goes back as if you never threw that rock, and it just is an unfortunate way to start and end when you need to be generating a multiple point score. They still have opportunities, corner guards up, center guards up, and we're going to get another one here. So they'll still have chances, but I would be a little hesitant to call that, although she can see a lot of that back red. So thinking that it wasn't a big risk to hit that guard. This is going a little deep though. which would not be what Team Richards, now skipped by Emma Yarmich, would have wanted. So going to try it again.
This one's got a hold as well. It's by though.
Sneak it by. It's going to roll out the other side a little bit. Not a bad result there, though, for Anna Monroe. So looking for a little hit and roll underneath that center guard. You might have overcooked this. Oh no, it was quite enough weight that it sticks right in behind there, so really, really well done. And now pressure is on Hannah Phillips. You really don't want to have to throw a run back here, but you might have to. Could consider a freeze. Trying to get this one to curl now. We're hoping to stick that for a second corner guard, so that's one of those ones where the most important part of that shot was actually sticking your shooter rather than worrying about making anything else happen. Even if you nosed it, it would have been okay, but this gives Team Richards the opportunity to just run up and rip this guard, and now it's going to be really hard to get a multiple point end and nearly impossible to get a 3, which is what they were hoping to get, assuming she makes this, but this is going to be just a little hit and roll. So bullet dodged there a little bit for Team Phillips, and now an opportunity to use that guard. It is very long, but you have to hope that you can get in behind there and then hope for a slight miscue.
Yeah, still a little bit of fight left in Phillips here. I'm questioning hitting right now.
Yeah, I'm with you. I might just have tapped this back to make a pocket in the back of the forefoot, because that guard is so long that you're probably going to be chaseable no matter what you do. So even if you made the hit and roll, I'm not sure it's setting up the multiple point score that you're looking for. So if you just tap that back sort of right beside that other red in the back of the forefoot and try to make a pocket, then you're going to probably see Team Richards just rip it out of there. And then hopefully you have a freeze into the pocket and you could set up your 2 points that way.
What about just looping one all the way back 12 around the whole works?
Yeah, I like that too. And I think that's a shot that doesn't get played enough. You can use those rocks in the top of the house as guards.
Even here, like, what if you played the out turn to the, back 12 foot around that?
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think that this is a desperate times kind of a situation for Team Phillips, and they seem to be happy just to throw some hits here, and I don't think that's going to win you the game. You got to get a little creative now.
It could be that they're focused on maybe just executing a little bit right now, and maybe in some ways, punting on this game.
Definitely possible, yeah. So just looking to make that one go away. It didn't really matter where you rolled to, and now I don't really see much of an opportunity for Hannah.
No, where do you go here? Where do you roll to give yourself some kind of a chance? Under?
I guess, but then why wouldn't you just draw there? It seems easier.
Yeah, I mean, never a bad thing to learn your draw weight and put a rock in a good spot. Big scrub here. Trying to hold it straight.
Gotta get a piece.
Oh, we've got... It's a little over curl there.
So where do you think is the perfect spot for this one for Team Richards, for Emma? Where are you going top 4, full 8?
I think full 8 right on the center line.
Yeah, basically a mirror image of that back one. That's what I was thinking too. You could probably slide to the top of the forefoot and be okay. You just don't want her to be able to nose it and not make the double and score, but you would love to make the double as hard as you could, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, even like biting 8, if you're on the right line, I guess then the draw becomes a little easier, but...
Yeah, at some point it's a question of which would you rather have her throw, the double or the draw. This one's curling though.
They're carving it.
Yeah, now we're sweeping it to get it to curl, so looking to just go behind this guard, I guess. So draw for 1 for Hannah Phillips. Does face forward.
We are going to get a time on this. Let's see. Is the ice... Where's the ice at? It was 15-2 in the first end, right?
Yep.
I just need a view of this, who's sliding. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
All right. Zoom in on the hog line for me, please.
You're so demanding.
Yes. Get it. Get it. Okay. We have hog line. Okay, now make sure I got a good view of the hog line when the rock gets there. The other hog line. There we go. Oh, this...
Looks close. Gotta go.
I've got 1572.
Wow, and that's getting there easily. So
Wow,
that was a good point for Hannah Phillips. Team Richards will take a 2-point lead and the hammer into the 9th end, and we will be right back after this short break.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. curling stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next curling stadium.
Original 16, a great way to celebrate things done well.
Yeah, it was.
John was doing that. John Wall.
And Mark. Sure. All right, we are back with ninth end action between Team Gracelyn Richards without Gracelyn herself and Team Hannah Phillips. We did see a really good draw, a pressure draw there by Hannah. Wasn't a crazy hard one, just had needed a piece of the forfeit, but was against 4, so no mistake. But for Team Richards, now skipped by Emma Yarmich, 2-point lead and the hammer in 9, you have to feel pretty good. What's your approach here, Darren, for each of these teams?
You know, Hannah Phillips team, you got to just be aggressive. Throw the kitchen sink at them. Everything you can do to try and get some rocks in play. You got to be creative. You may have to go against the grain a little bit to try and create something. If you're Team Richards, it's the opposite. You're trying to make things as simple as possible, as few rocks in play as possible. You got hammer. Even giving up a steal of 1 here isn't horrible, but a score is pretty much ball game. If Richards can score another point in this game, they're going to win.
Most of the time they are, absolutely.
But, I mean, I've come back from worse than this, Chels.
As have I.
Did you see the line score in that Nobert Pierce game in the BC men's provincials yesterday?
I did not.
14-11.
Holy smokes.
Pierce was down 6 points playing 8. And they ended up 1 without coming home.
Oh my goodness, that is insane.
They had hammer in the extra, 11-11.
Wow.
My point is they were down 6 playing 8, so this actually was pretty good.
It's a close game, yeah.
How do you not shake hands down 6 playing 8? Like, I'm shook down less than that.
Me too. But obviously they made the right call if they ended up in that situation.
Well, they took 4 and then stole 3 in the 9th.
Wow.
Anyways.
Is this the guard come around, do you think?
Looks like a come around.
Looks like a guard, yeah. Which I think is the call that I would make.
That rock is barely moving.
I know, they gotta go, but it's just so fast. It looks like that shouldn't have gotten anywhere near even the Curling Alberta logo. And it's all the way to the Boston Pizza.
And with curl. That surface is just gorgeous.
Yeah, we're in for a good week of shot making here if the surface stays like this. This ice conditions are incredible.
It looks like the curl's actually increasing a little compared to earlier.
Which makes you think that the speed would be falling off, but it doesn't. It's not.
No, it's like it's settling in. It's almost like he didn't clip very much. And
it started fast too, so if he didn't clip very much, you'd think it would have been slower at the beginning. Maybe it was in practice though.
Yeah, because usually like ice that gets clipped a lot will straighten out as the game goes on. And the ice that settles in and curls more is usually the stuff that isn't nipped quite as much. And that would explain why the speed's still there.
Right, it would, for sure.
But there is more curl than there was at the beginning.
I agree. They're all like those have over curled. Like if anything, the teams are getting fooled by curling more.
Yeah.
Than they're thinking, which yeah, usually you would think that would mean that it was getting slower, but it's not. The speed has stayed up very well, incredibly fast.
And that's that's another thing. If I'm Team Phillips, the one thing you can still do is learn the tendencies of the sheets.
Yeah, that's going to be key because you're going to have to play some close games if you want to win this event. So you need to be still paying attention to, okay, so are we starting to lose the speed in 9? No, the speed's still great, but wow, it's like we over-curled all of these rocks and we kept moving the broom out and it was never enough. So file all that stuff away because if you want to win this event, you're going to have to win a lot of games in the 9th and 10th end. So you want to know what it's doing. Looks like another guard here for Kate Goodhelpson.
Fine throw. Well executed shot.
Looking for just a single peel. You could try to throw the double peel. You would have done it with the other turn, but no need for that at this point, I don't think, for Team Richards. Just keep killing that one, and you're going to force them to make a play in here. And worst case, hopefully for Team Richards, worst case, you give up a steal of 1. But who do you think is shot there, Darren? It's probably red at the back, hey?
Yeah, I think so. Are they going right to it?
I'm not sure. Sort of looks like it.
I think I'm going to get another time here.
Yeah, let's see what this one is.
Now I'm scouting the ice, Chels.
It's an occupational hazard.
Yeah. I got a 14-8.
So that should be all there to the back one. Oh, look at this curl, though.
It picked.
Did it?
Yeah.
Might have. They weren't worried about it at all, so...
Can we get an instant replay on that? I'm pretty sure that picked.
Oh.
They're trying. Oh. And the powers that be say no replay.
No replay. It did end up rolling to a pretty good spot, though. Like that could have been a lot worse with that tick and assuming it was a pick, the sudden late curl. But it ended up pretty good here. Team Richards, Emma Yarmouth has to be careful. Do you try to get all the way to the nose of this? Like, do you just go nose, nose?
Oh, I mean, yeah. There's never a world in where you peel this guard, is there?
I don't think so, just because then they play a little tap-tap and they're sitting 3.
Yeah. Or they freeze lock it on the right
yeah,
spot.
Which would be even worse, yeah.
Yeah. So, no, there isn't a world in which you'd peel that yellow. This is the call.
I think it's too late,
like, she's looking at I mean, all of a sudden, this is a huge shot in this game. If she doesn't execute the shot, Phillips could make something really good and be right back in this thing.
Well, and even if she makes it, assuming she's playing a freeze, you're basically playing to give up a steal of 1 now.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, like, now you're 5-4 coming home in a game that, you know, you look like you were...
Yeah, like we thought it might be handshakes. This needs to curl.
It is curling. The carve is on, but it's a bounce. Oh, wow.
Oh, you make a good little hit and roll here. Game on.
It could be. If you roll right into that pocket, she can't hit.
No, I think she's got to draw the pin against you.
She's got to draw the chest of that Sentinel. The little hole.
Yep. Huge opportunity here for Hannah Phillips. The question, I think, isn't the shot, it's what kind of weight are you throwing at this? You don't have to move it that far, so you could play it quiet with just like a back 4-foot weight, or you could throw this with normal if you wanted to. I don't think I would, but you could. It's just a matter of getting your shooter to go where you want, so probably just a comfort thing and what you know the ice for the best.
I mean, with this ice, I think this is too much ice.
This is the same ice, approximately, I think, that Emma just had, is it not?
Yeah, but, like, yes. Unless she's just drawing.
It sort of looks like it's for a freeze, but I think you want to move that red if you could. I guess you don't have to.
Not if you go right into that pocket.
If you make the freeze good and you get just past that red and corner freeze right on your yellow, then I don't think it matters that you don't hit it.
Ooh, this is not a good sign already on the carve.
Heavy carve.
Oh.
Oh, maybe they overcooked it.
Oh, wow.
They overcarved this? They might have.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah.
That's
classic overcarve.
If they sweep differently, it's made perfect.
That was definitely thrown in the tolerance. She went early carve, which really does change the line because it's earlier in the apex, and the earlier you carve a rock, the you're gonna have a bigger impact if you can carve it an inch at the quarter pole rather than the 3/4 pole. You look at what that does to the overall line of your stone all the way down. Early carve is a dangerous thing. It's powerful, but you better be sure.
Yeah, the general rule is that if you think you're anywhere close, you don't carve before the break point. Because of exactly that. Not only do you affect the line, but then because you affect the line as much as you do, you affect the weight. And it brings all the weight off. So obviously thinking that they were far enough off to do that. But yeah, you better be sure, because when you're wrong, you see what just happened, which was a perfectly thrown rock that didn't end up in the position that it needed to because they just carved it too much too early. So trying a little tap here, I think it looks close. What a shot.
And a 3-point lead.
What a turnaround. There'll be a 3-point lead for Team Gracelyn Richards going into the 10th end. Team Phillips will have the hammer coming home. We'll be
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
So you're a pizza person, but you're married to a wing person, and your kids are salad people? You can't pick your fam, but with over 50 menu items to choose from, you can make them all happy. Order today and enjoy Boston pizza at home.
Tenth end action here from Rimbey, Alberta. I'm Chelsea Carey. I'm here with Darren Moulding. It is Team Gracelyn Richards. Gracelyn is not here this week, but team playing very well without her. They are up 3 points going into 10. Team Hannah Phillips will have the hammer. So what's your strategy coming into 10 if you're trying to get 3, Darren? What's your approach?
Well, you want to, it used to be before the 5 rock, you wanted to find a way to get them to bonk appeal so you could have 2 corner guards. Now you get that second guard anyway. So, to be able to sit 3 is, if the other team doesn't make a double, you probably will get a chance. So I guess, what I'm trying to say is, get those double guards up there and try to make a roll or make a good draw to get one under and see if you can't get a couple rocks hidden. I think that, Phillips probably has a 15, if she ran this end over 10 times, she probably would tie this game 1 or 2 times. So she's definitely not out of it.
For sure not. What about guards? They've chosen to go the same side. Do you like that, or do you prefer opposite sides?
I think I prefer opposite sides, but I do see the merits in doing this. What about you, Chelsea? What do you prefer?
So I've generally done them same side, and I think that this is maybe a difference between the men's game and the women's game to some degree, because if I do them on the same side, then at least I have 1 draw. If you put them on opposite sides, you have to be careful to still leave yourself a draw to the forfeit somewhere. But it does make you more susceptible to the double peel. And in this case, the double peel is reasonably makeable. But even when they're dead lined up, the top men's players in the world can just throw it so hard that they can hit it just off nose and still, hit the boards with the shooter and lose both guards. And that's just too dangerous. So I see the merit in both as well.
Well, the other thing I don't like about the double stack, Chelsea, is if they're throwing that double peel and they dead nose that rock and still get those, like the tight one and the shooter, that guard's so long that on ice like this, it's not a guard. Right?
For sure. The long guard isn't useful by itself, and that is another negative about the double stack, for sure. I agree.
But again, like I've played both ways. And actually, like, I won't do the same thing every time either. Like,
no, and I think it's ice condition dependent a little bit, and it's like, can I still leave myself a draw of the forfeit? Like, it's kind of nice to be able to change it up, because then you also might surprise your opponent, which is always a good thing to do.
And yourself, even. It's like, I haven't done this before. Let's give her a go. Like,
change it up.
Yeah. Creativity is it's an important part of game calling, I think.
And I feel like it's an underrated part these days, and it's nice to see it. Remember the one that Ryan Fry made? The frozen guards in the and then he rolled to the center line.
To the center, yeah.
It might be the best shot I've ever seen, but even to call it is the impressive part. Like, that's just getting creative, and you have to when you're in a situation as desperate as they were at that point in that game. And it just, like, the innovation to see it and then for Fry to execute it perfectly that's one of my favorite shots ever.
Yeah, very true. That was incredible.
So making a play now on these rocks in the house. Need to get this by the guard. Woo! Squeaks it by. Really good sweep there. That's a great result. I don't think you could have made that shot any better than that. But the problem is you're going to let Team Richards go up and peel this corner guard.
Papered that guard. So, Chelsea, when we're traveling around these places we were talking about and we get hungry, we stroll into a Boston Pizza. What are you ordering? What's your game plan?
So these days I generally try to be at least a little bit healthier, and I would lean towards they have a honey dill chicken salad thing that I quite like. Being from Manitoba, I love my honey dill sauce, so I order that one a fair bit. But my favorite one growing up was always the fettuccine Alfredo baked with cheese. Is delicious, but I'm just trying not to be 400 pounds, so I don't order it very often anymore, but it's so good.
Yeah, I mean, I just like my nice baked. I love how they double bake those chicken wings.
That's good. Yeah, that's a good call.
Real good hot sauce, and give me like a little bit of cheese bread, and I might get a little side Caesar salad just to convince myself that I've
vegetables.
Yeah, got to get the vegetables in there. An 016 to wash it down.
Perfect.
Boston Pizza, they've been a reliable sponsor, partner of Curling Alberta. For more than 50 years, Boston Pizza has had a proud history of participating and giving back to the communities in which we live and operate our restaurants. This is Northern Alberta Boston Pizza. They're involved in the men's prominently, as it's called the Boston Pizza Cup. And that'll be happening in Statler in a couple weeks. All right. How can Team Phillips orchestrate a three ball here, or maybe even four? I've seen that happen once or twice too.
Yeah, this is not what they were looking for. I might have considered. Remember earlier in the game when you said everything?
Yeah. Yeah.
You could have gone around that staggered, like that red rock that they just ticked was essentially a guard, and go around all of it and sit second and third.
Oh, that
can't remove either one.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the time to do it. Back 8, back even, like, just get it buried behind that stagger. I mean, that's how Dacey took 3 against Randy Furby.
Absolutely.
Going around that stagger.
I think they were trying to play a little freeze tap, which is not a bad call either. You line the yellows up, and how does Team Richards eliminate either one of them? But unfortunately, Little Rub on the top one allows this open hit, and it's going to be hard now. You could still play the same shot. You could try to hit and roll off that red even and get in behind that mess.
I think you still have to draw around that stagger.
I agree.
Back 8, you don't need to be shot, and even if they rip the stagger, like, you can duck around one of those corner guards, but it's getting too late now.
It's desperation mode here, yeah, for sure.
And after the game's over, we're going to have our moment of the game. So stay tuned for that. And there's probably a few things we could think about for that.
Yeah, definitely. Have to look at that 3. The 3 that Team Richards put on the board that changed the game for sure.
Huh.
Not a bad result. It's not easy to pick that. Like, the stagger goes into that red a lot of the time if you touch. So if you hit the yellow and you hit the red behind it, it's just going to ricochet straight into that other red. So not the easiest shot. Could pick the wide one.
I think you
That's what
have
we're
to.
looking at now. Yeah, I like this.
Oh, I don't know if you guys are watching, but that's the clearest the feeds looked all night. And it appears, as in late in the 10th end, the Rimbey technical crew has found their game. And we're in for a real good week here, because I can see these rocks clear as day now. Important shot here. Definitely a shot that needs to be thrown well, accurately. Emma's a good hitter.
On and off clean, they like it. No mistake there. So now you have to go around it, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, yep. And force her to play that pick through the hole. They just have never really considered going around that.
No, they're going to play the freeze again, and you're going to see us throw the exact same shot, I think. I guess if you get more to the nose, then she has to be more careful. But you've got to stay shot rock, so you can't get all the way to the nose, or else you won't be, not shot rock, but you won't even be third.
Yeah, no, you don't see it as much anymore, but I think it's useful, to look like, do we have guards in the house that we can use? They don't have to be in the free guard zone. They can be anywhere. And with the surface that you've got here, I mean, all those shots are in play.
Absolutely.
And the sweep for any chance here. No, it's not getting there. And that'll be it. There's no possible way for Team Phillips to score 3. The game is over. It's a 6-3 win for Team Richards. X is on 10. And is that how they're scoring it nowadays, Chels?
Yeah, if the end doesn't finish. It should be X's.
So, Chels, what's our moment of the game?
I think it's the draw for 3.
Yeah. And that line call. I mean, to get that little tick there.
Yeah, and it's just like, it seems, they probably, you know, you could argue that it wasn't even a deuce, but it was probably a deuce most of the time. But then when you get that miss, I talked about it a little bit earlier, for Emma Yarmouch having to reset and really focus in on making that shot, because the difference between 2 and 3 there is huge. So I think it's Emma Yarmouch draw for 3 and 5.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Chelsea. So the moment of the game, Emma Yarmouch, beautiful draw in the 5th end to flip the game over, and really sees control that they never really look back after that. So, well, thanks, Chelsea. It's been a pleasure being on with you.
Absolutely. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Thanks to our technical crew sorting out all kinds of problems in the middle of the game in a hurry, and we appreciate it. And we'll be back with you tomorrow for the next draw. I won't be, but we'll have some commentary for you, and this should be a great week. The ice looks awesome, and the players are ready to go, and we've got a really even field here, so don't go anywhere, folks. It's going to be a good week.
Well, and like, guys, let's get excited about the fact that this feed is crystal clear. You know, there they are.
There they are.
We're locked in. Okay, thanks, guys. I'll be around Saturday, but I'll be watching Thursday and Friday. Thanks, Chelsea.
Yeah, cheers, folks. We'll see you soon.
Signing off.
Round them up, move them in. No place for your saddle and cowboy boots after the Calgary Stampede? At Sentinel Storage, we are proud to provide you with storage solutions that safeguard your valuables. Whether you're moving, renovating, or simply require extra space, we offer convenient and secure storage that caters to all needs. Find the Sentinel storage you need close to home. For a free estimate, visit sentinel.ca.
This is where the focus comes into play. Look at that. Canada, say hello to your new champions.
Proudly pulling for this generation of Canadians and the next for over 40 years at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.